Welcome back. Part 2 of Solarizing the F150. So if you guys saw the first video, and if you didn't, I'll probably link it in this video, and it'll definitely be available in the how-to playlist on my channel, along with tons of other how-tos. Of course, as a reminder, this channel is all about becoming self-reliant, building skills, and do-it-yourself type projects. And as another reminder, I am not a craftsman, I am not a mechanic, and frankly, I'm not particularly skilled at these types of projects. The good news is that means you don't have to be either. And the whole point of these is do it yourself and do cool new things that are pushing the boundaries of self-reliance, just like throwing solar panels on my F-150 to have more reliability for my battery. Now, that being said, I did learn some lessons from that first trial. One of them is using an adhesive may or may not be the best way to secure the actual wires on the roof themselves. Again, this is an older truck. This is not a pretty brand new expensive truck. I would definitely do things differently, or maybe not even recommend it if you have a brand new beautiful $80,000 truck. But with this one, I don't care. You know, it's beat up. I don't care what the roof looks like. I don't care about having some wires coming down and running into the engine bay. But I do want to make sure that I protect those wires from branches and other things when I'm in the off-road settings. The other thing I realized, and this is such an obvious thing that I thought about later, using that adhesive wasn't a bad idea, but using it the way I did was. And what I mean is, the wires are so stiff and have so much resistance that they want to go where they want to go. And using an adhesive that takes a long time to seal is not the best way to do it. Honestly, I could have just used duct tape or other tape to tape them in place and then use adhesive so that it was cleaner and in a better line. I also could have used a better adhesive as well. The stuff that I use, and again, it's going to work just fine. It's definitely going to stick really well. It just cures longer and was really malleable, if that's the right term, during the process. This is Sikaflex 221 multi-purpose polyurethane adhesive. I found a liquid nails all-surface adhesive that bonds in extreme weather. It's got really strong adhesion, and it has instant grab, which I'm not 100% sure what that means, but I think it might mean it's securing faster and more acting the way I was hoping this would. But again, if I use duct tape in the areas that I didn't need to glue or other tape, so it releases easy, to just hold those in place and then glue sections down and let that cure and then remove the tape, that would have been better than what I ended up doing. All right, a couple of bonus tips for you guys that I forgot to mention in that other portion. So I don't know why I don't wear gloves. You guys probably saw my hands got super dirty when I was using the adhesive. Honestly, that stuff stayed on my hands for like 3 days, which I guess it shows it's great adhesive. But for, 50 cents or whatever latex gloves would cost, that would have made so much more sense. I should get into more of a better habit of that. The other thing, the leading edge, right along the very, very front, I put those big globs like I mentioned because I think it's going to make the best adhesion and, really anchor them down. But I was on the freeway the other day and I definitely had a little bit more road noise than normal. And I realized, well, right now the air can just pass right through there. It probably almost acts like a flap or a wing or whatever. And so I'm just going to take just like a normal caulking bead and just go all along that front edge where I'm just going to seal it right down. So hopefully all the air just goes over top, eliminate all that extra road noise that I got otherwise, because right now it definitely can have a bit of a gap and I'm sure air is finding its way under there. So I think, big globs in the main places to secure it down, and then on the leading edge, do a line all the way across. I'm going to put a 2x4 across it with weight on top of it, so that entire bead will adhere well and seal down. I already did half of it, and I'm going to go to the other side now, and I think that's a really good idea for eliminating road noise and that kind of thing. So gloves, bead at the front, big globs at the rest. Tape down the wires before you put the adhesive, and then you guys will probably have a better final product than I do. So learn from my mistakes, and we'll see how this turns out. Well, it's not the most beautiful final product I've ever done, but it works, and that's the most important thing. Hopefully it makes the truck more self-reliant when I'm out there working long days in the Derby Canyon completely alone with the sun shining down and this thing acting like a solar trickle charger. What I ended up doing, I don't know how well you can see it, what I ended up doing was using flex tape, which is like, I think it's like that stuff that's like on an infomercial, like they slap it on the side of a pool that's leaking and it stops whatever. But it
worked really well for this application because I used that flex tape, as you can see right here, all along the leading edge where there was wires. So not only is that going to protect the wiring from elements, although they are obviously rated for the outdoors, but it's also going to prevent having areas where the limbs and branches can snag the actual wiring. You know, as you guys know, I take this truck through the woods. I definitely get into places where there's going to be branches, scraping, and that kind of thing. And so that is going to help create not loose wiring that would get torn off by branches, a little bit of weatherproofing, and obviously slightly better aesthetically. But I can't say that I'm a craftsman or that I'm super proud of this final product. I'm proud that it works. I could have done a little bit better of a job, but overall, the F150 is now solarized. It is protected. And again, I wouldn't do this on a brand new $80,000 truck. I would definitely take my time and do it differently, running wires internally or whatever the case may be that way. But functional solar panels on top of the F-150 to act like a trickle charger and help make the truck more self-reliant, prevent dead batteries in the future, especially on those long sunny days when I'm out working on the Derby Canyon on building projects, which of course you guys will see future videos on those projects and that kind of thing. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful, kind of a fun DIY project that's not the most craftsman oriented, but certainly does its job. And I hope you guys got a little bit out of this and hopefully can learn some of the lessons from my mistakes. And if you want to take on a project like this that can make your truck or vehicle a little bit more self-reliant, then you learn a few lessons from me and can do it a little bit better. So until next time, hopefully this was a fun part 2 to the part 1. Look in the description for the link to the part 1 if you're seeing this for the first time. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. My mission is self-reliance through sustainable living, and we're here to build a community. Click here to subscribe to be sure to get more awesome content for living off the land. And be sure to go in to enter for notifications. Click that bell, get notifications, and stay in tune. Subscribe, watch, and comment. Let's build a community. See you soon.